Hey guys, and welcome back to the show. Super excited to have you here. We're coming to you live from Bangkok, and we're sitting outside right now on a balcony overlooking the city with some kids jumping into the pool and making a bit of noise. So the sound quality might not necessarily be as good as it is for the other episodes. I'm sorry about that, but hopefully today's episode is going to be interesting enough to hold your attention. I'm in Thailand, as I just said, and I'm here with a very special guest, and we're going to be talking about the 2-week mission that I've been on to learn Thai. We're going to get into a lot of the things like how we've been finding it, our experience, how the learning and studying process has been, and also a bit about the level that we've been able to reach. So lots of stuff to talk about. So let's dive into today's show, and I'm very happy to be joined by Mr. Jan van der Aar, who's been on the show before from the Netherlands. Jan, welcome to the show.
Hey Olly, yeah, thanks for having me again. This time in Bangkok.
Yeah, we were talking the other day actually. We've met up in how many different countries now?
I think it's 4 or 5. No, I think first time I met you in Berlin. Then came to visit you in Cairo.
Because of Germany, Egypt, London,
and London, and now in Bangkok.
And now in Bangkok.
Number 5. Yeah.
So yeah, I think we share a lot of the same interests in language learning. And you speak, how many languages do you speak?
I would say I speak 8 languages, and then there is a few other languages that I speak where
you can get by.
Yeah, where I can get by.
Yeah. So the background to this really is that, I mean, how did we find ourselves in Bangkok? Like what happened? What went wrong?
what went wrong with us? I think it was actually you that asked if I had any plans for this summer, right? And I think you were considering to go either to Poland or Thailand. And well, for me, Thailand has always been a country. So, well, we have both lived in Asia. You've lived in Japan, and I spent 2 years in China. And when I lived there, I used to travel around a lot around Asia. And I've been to Thailand a few times. I like the country very much. I've always been fascinated by the language, by Thai. And I last year I did an attempt to learn the language, but I failed because I lost the motivation. So I think it was actually a good idea to come back, and this time, to do this challenge and really work hard on it and give it another try. So
yeah, fantastic. So the background is really, as you said, you've learned Thai for a couple of months before. I'm a complete beginner in Thai, so I really have no experience with the language. And we decided for this, to kind of take on 2 slightly different methods for learning, exactly. Right? I mean, so I have been going to a school. I've been taking lessons with the teacher every day. Yeah. And what have you been doing?
So I basically learned the language on my own, and I often get this question, you're going to Thailand and you're going to learn the language on your own at home. I mean, why don't you go to a language school or get a private tutor? Well, actually, I'm a big fan of online learning, and it doesn't mean that going to a local language school wouldn't be a good idea, but I just wanted to, I don't know, just stay in the comfort zone, I think. I mean, I've learned most of the languages by myself the way I'm learning now, just at home. And I thought that the most effective idea for me to learn Thai in such a short amount of time would be actually doing the same. So taking classes on the internet, over Skype, 1 hour per day, and then I study 1 hour by myself, focusing on the most important vocabulary.
Yeah. We should say, I guess, that we are making daily videos about our experience here, and we wanted to really kind of document this so that you guys can hopefully draw a bit of inspiration from it and learn about how we are approaching it. Not because we've got the right, necessarily the best way to approach it, but because we are trying different things, and we are talking about our experiences and trying to articulate what we've been doing. And if you would like to check out the videos, and you definitely should, we've got loads of great videos, like shots of us around Bangkok and stuff like that. Also with a very special guest, we went to the home of Stujay Raj, who's a very well-known polyglot, specializes in Asian languages. We went to his house the other day and recorded a masterclass with him on Thai, and he actually kind of went through me and Jan speaking Thai and just dissected it, broke it down, told us all the things we could improve, which was really, really fascinating. And all of this is on video. So if you'd like to check that out, go to my YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/IWTYAL. And then from there, you can look for the playlist for Thai videos, and you can also find Jan's channel there. So you can see more about Jan. So Jan, what's a typical day look like for you with your studying now?
I wake up every morning pretty early, 8 o'clock. I will go to the gym. Then I come back around 9 or 10. And then after breakfast, what I do almost every day at least is have a class over the internet. And after that, I study 1 hour by myself. And then what many people don't know is that we also have to work, right? So I received a few messages from people that have been watching these videos online. They're like, oh, great what you're doing. It's like almost like a big holiday, but actually it's not. We're also working. So for me, the 2 hour, I really spend 2 hour max on language learning every day. And the rest of the day looks pretty similar to my working day in the Netherlands. So just work online. Yeah, and then now that I'm in Thailand, of course, because of the time difference, I often start a little later. So most of the time I start work at 2 in the afternoon, and then I work until, I don't know, 6, 7 or 8 p.m. And then in the night, of course, in the evening, try to see a little bit of the city, do some social activities as well, try out some time with the taxi drivers and the shop vendors. Yeah, that's basically, I guess that's also how your day, well, your day is a little bit different, right?
Yeah, so I mean, for me, I've joined a language school and I'm taking classes with a private teacher every morning for 2 hours. Mm-hmm. And I didn't really know how this was going to work out initially because, as people who follow the podcast will know, that I'm quite a big fan of self-study, just like you are. But I decided to get a teacher for this because I really wanted to have I really wanted to do something a bit different, and also I didn't want to come to Thailand and just sit on my own in a room. Yeah. I wanted to go out and have a bit of experience, and it's been great because I've struck gold with the teacher. She's amazing, and I have to thank someone on Twitter for a recommendation. I can't remember who it was, but they recommended me this language school. Oh yeah. So I checked it out, and it was great, and so that's worked out really, really well. Mm-hmm. So we have 2 hours of classes in the morning. I won't go into that much detail about exactly what we do in the classes because all of that stuff is in the daily videos. Yeah. So you can go and see exactly what we're doing in more detail in the videos. But basically, the way that we run the classes is that the teacher will teach me a bunch of new things at some point during the 2 hours, but most of it is actually just conversation-based. Mm-hmm. So after the first few days, when it really was just learning the basics, our classes were structured around conversation. We would ask and answer questions. She would ask me questions. She would encourage me to ask her questions, which is really helpful. And I would just try to kind of feed in all the language that I've been learning and just build it up. But I think what's really important is that in the evening I've gone home and I've gone and memorized the stuff that we've been working on. And I think it's difficult to overstate the importance of this because a lot of people I think will think that a 2 hour class is enough for the day. But actually the time to memorize stuff, commit it to memory and learn it is not. It's when you're on your own and you're focused and you're in a quiet place. It's not when you have a teacher there saying, do this, and I'll do that. So I've been going home in the evening, spending anywhere from like 30 minutes to an hour and a half, revising stuff and committing it to memory using various memory techniques. And that has been absolutely crucial because it's meant that every single day I can go back to the school and I can talk to the teacher using the stuff that we've just learnt the day before, which means we can move on and either learn new stuff or, as is happening now for the rest of this week, basically just practicing the stuff. So that's what I've been doing, and the rest of the time really has been a lot of work as well. I have to put many hours every day of work to do, and also like going out in the evenings. We'll be going out for a few drinks here and there as well, and just trying to enjoy Bangkok. But I guess one thing we haven't really been doing is speaking a lot with the locals, right, in Thai. That's not something we've been doing. Why do you think that is? Because a lot of people would assume, right, you're in Thailand, well, you should be speaking with everybody, right? Yeah, but that's not really what we've been doing. So curious as to what you think about why that is.
I don't know. I think with the taxi drivers here, it's often just a short conversations, right? They ask where you want to go and that's it. And I think the really interesting people that you want to talk to, they actually speak English. It's like, I hear a lot of English speakers complaining about the same when they come to the Netherlands, for example. They want to practice Dutch, they reply in English. I guess if we really want, we could do it, but if you really want to practice a language, I think you need at least a B1 level in order to hold at least a simple conversation. Don't you think so? I mean, of course, we can practice some phrases now and then, and we order our coffee in Thai.
Yeah, we're getting very good at ordering food and drink in Thai. That's for sure.
But a real conversation, I think that you need at least a B1 or something to.
Yeah, I mean, I think for me the thing is that chatting to people on the street is not something that I do back home.
Yeah.
So why would I do it here in a language I can hardly speak?
Uh-huh.
It's kind of good to boost your confidence if that kind of thing gives you confidence. It doesn't really give me confidence, really. It's kind of a bit awkward trying to negotiate stuff and, Tarzan-like speaking.
Yeah.
I think there is a place for that, but I'm much more interested in, like, for me, the 2 hours of classes a day are great because we just get the chance to chat, use the language, have real conversations, and that's what's interesting for me.
I remember when I lived in China, I used to go for a foot massage almost every day. And it was actually a pretty good deal because it was only free. I only paid €3.50 for a massage, for a 60-minute massage. And I would speak Chinese or practice Chinese for 1 hour. So it cost me €3.50 for, 1 hour of Chinese practice. And then I got a massage at the same time. And it was actually quite funny because I went for a massage the other day here in Thailand a few days ago. And this lady who gave me this massage, she didn't speak English very well, and she said a few things in Thai. I responded, and she really liked that I tried to reply in Thai, and I managed to practice the language there a bit. So that was a good experience. But having real conversations and speaking Thai to someone who speaks very good English, I mean, our generation, at least the people that we've met from our age, I think most of the time they speak quite decent English, right? So that's maybe a little bit unnatural to speak.
Yeah, and I think long term as well, I think both of us would like to keep up the language, wouldn't we? And so long term, I think what's important really is that we find someone that we can genuinely practice with and have genuine conversations with over the long term. Like that's what's really going to make the difference, not just the occasional kind of chat here and there with some guy selling something on the street.
Exactly, and that could either be a good teacher or an language exchange partner, if that works for you. Or a teacher online, even. Or a girlfriend. Yeah, that's the best. That would be the best thing to do, I guess. But we haven't been that successful so far, at least not me. So.
Cool. So I think that's a little overview of what's been going on. Again, if you want to see all of this stuff in much more detail, head over to the YouTube channel. I'll put the link to this in the show notes as well. One other thing is that I've been getting a lot of questions about what we're doing here in Thailand and how we're learning, and I really like to answer all of these, and the best place to come and get answers to these questions is in the brand new Facebook group. It's called the Olly Richards Fluency Mastermind, and it's a free group on Facebook. We've got hundreds of people in there already chatting, getting to know each other. We've had people meet up with other people in the group for language exchanges already, lots of friendships being formed. So if you're not in the group, come over and join us in the group. The address, the link to join the group, again, I'm going to put that in the show notes, and you can find everything there, which will be at iwillteachyoualanguage.com/episode 127. So, Jan, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us about what you're doing.
Thanks for having me here at the swimming pool.
And if people would like to find out more about you and what you're doing, where can they go?
They can go to languageboost.biz.
Languageboost.biz, and this is your new company, which is producing. What exactly does it produce?
We provide two things. So one is language learning materials. So that's for people that want to learn a language and want to reach a level at which they can communicate with a native speaker or with anyone actually in a short amount of time. And we also provide boot camps, so 21-day boot camps, and that's where it's for complete beginners. And that's where how to learn how to speak a language within 21 days.
Fantastic. All right, so languageboost.biz. I'll put a link to that in the show notes as well. So Jan, thanks very much. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you in the next episode of the podcast.